Welcome back, friends. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so excited to bring to you another area that may or may not be controversial. Actually, it probably is, and it is in a lot of the Pentecostal circles. And I can't say all of them, but I absolutely know of many. So the topic is jewelry. Is it a sin? Is it considered immodest? I have my own personal feelings on that, and that's what I want to talk about today. So I want to start out by saying wearing jewelry has always been deeply personal to me and very meaningful to me. In my family, it's been passed down through generations, from mother to daughter. It's been a symbol of love and legacy and connection with us. And it's never been something that I have ever felt convicted of, or something that I felt that I was dishonoring God, or that it was rooted in pride or vanity. That's never been the case for me. I guess for me, a lot of it's like, it's no different than, say, somebody who says it's okay to wear jewelry in your hair, but it's not okay to wear it on your neck. Or it's okay to wear beautiful blinged out watch, but you cannot wear a bracelet. You can wear your wedding band, but you can't wear anything else. It's just, that is so hard for me to grasp. And I know there is scriptures behind why people believe that and hold that conviction. And I am not here to say that it's not true for them. I understand that people have different convictions, and I respect that. But for me, it is not a heaven or hell issue. Again, it goes back to modesty being a heart posture. That is how I feel. And right now, when it comes to my heart is at peace. I can't say that maybe one day God might speak something differently to me, or that my heart might change, or just feel differently. And in that moment, obviously, in that moment, I will change, absolutely. But until then, I will continue to wear the pieces that remind me of where I came from and the women who've walked before me that are in the same faith. My mother, she has some gorgeous pieces that I know I'll look back on them and just think of her and have loving memories. I already have some that she's already given me, some pieces that she's going to hand down to my daughter, and it's incredibly special. So I'm not here to speak against anybody else who has those convictions. It's not my place. But at the same time, I don't feel that you should say those things to me either, or that I'm bad or sinning. So I want to actually cite some scripture that I think a lot of people reference, and for the things of saying, you're not supposed to wear jewelry, right? Verse, I believe, is in 1 Peter 3 and 4, and I'm going to be reading from the English Standard Version. But it says, "Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious." Now, I think we have to note here that this verse doesn't at all prohibit jewelry. It does emphasize that the beauty shouldn't come from only the external, but from a God-honoring heart. So it's not saying that we can't. And then there's another scripture in 1 Timothy, and I'll read that, also from the English Standard Version. "Likewise, also that women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel, with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire." Again, the focus here is about humility and not the banning of accessories. So I think if someone wants to pick and choose the part, like, so now we can't braid our hair, I don't know. Like, it's just so fuzzy. That's why I think it absolutely comes down to, like, what is God telling you? There are things that are rooted in tradition, and I'm not against tradition at all. We are going to have several traditions in my family. Number one, that I grew up with, when we go into God's house or the place of worship, we're not wearing pants. That has nothing to do with women can't wear pants. I do wear pants. I wear modest pants. But there are things that I respect, and the house of God is one of them. And I'm not going to be going into the house of God to worship relationship, and wearing things that I wouldn't even say feel appropriate if I was going to meet the President of the United States. My mom would always say, like, if you were going to meet the Queen of England or just somebody you held in high esteem, high regard, right? Would you go in your jeans? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. Would you go for a job interview wearing jeans? No, you wouldn't do that. So like, those are the things that for me, again, is a tradition. It's a matter of respect for me, and it is a tradition. My parents never let me do that. I'm not gonna do that with my kids, but it has nothing to do with the fact that jeans are immodest. I'm not saying that. So tradition is great, and I am all for tradition. So those are some of the scriptures that I cited that are for, like, you know, why you shouldn't, or why some people might say you shouldn't. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about where some scriptures also talk about that wearing jewelry is not inherently wrong. Okay, so I'm going to be reading again. This one's from Ezekiel, English Standard Version, once again. And I adorned you with ornaments and put bracelets on your wrists and a chain on your neck. And I put a ring on your nose and earrings in your ears and a beautiful crown on your head. This describes how God beautified his people as an act of love and covenant. In Genesis 24:53, English Standard Version, and the servant brought jewelry of silver and gold and garments and gave them to Rebekah. Jewelry in the Old Testament and just Jewish times, jewelry was used in sacred traditions like betrothal and or a blessing. And then also, let's read from Proverbs 25:12. Like a gold ring or an ornament of gold is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Jewelry is used here as a metaphor for something that's valuable and honorable. So again, I am not a theologian. I'm not going to sit here and argue with people on this. It's just nothing to really argue about. But I guess for me, it's going to always go back to a heart posture. It's not about the hardware. Let's keep our eyes on Jesus and let's not focus on the jewelry. So that is my 2 cents. I'd love to hear what y'all thoughts are. I think it's a valid discussion. I don't think, again, it's not a heaven or hell issue. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you being here. I'm gonna come back again. This was kind of a little bit just, you know, I love having this channel because I can just say things behind the scenes that I don't necessarily want to maybe put on an Instagram reel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Share it with somebody if you think they would like it. Share this channel with somebody who you think might like it. Like, subscribe, all the things. Okay? Till next week. Bye, guys.